It's the first time humans have come to a place closer to the sun. However, under the scorching heat of less than 30,000 degrees Celsius, men are not at all flustered. What should be blocked in front of him is a huge heat sink. It's also loaded with a nuclear bomb. But humans don't come here to travel but to use this ultimate nuclear bomb to restart the sun. The Earth entered the Ice Age in order to save the human civilization. All resources around the world created a spaceship after 18 months of flight. The super long distance made the crew members completely lose contact with the Earth. Then the 8 crew members sat down together enjoying the stunning sight of the stars sliding through the sun. But when everyone was intoxicated by the beautiful scenery in front of them, the spaceship suddenly received a rescue signal. The signal source was actually sent by the missing No. 1 spaceship 7 years ago. His original mission was to restart the sun. But I don't know why it failed. And where he is now, it happens to be the best place to release nuclear bombs. The sudden news got the crew members all confused. Black thinks that saving No. 1 spaceship is undoubtedly a risk, but the one thing above him is still worth the risk. That's the same powerful nuclear bomb on the spaceship, obviously. Using 2 nuclear bombs to restart the sun, there's a higher chance of success. The wind is getting heavier and heavier, but the captain still doesn't want to risk the life of the crew. The little day gave the decision to the physicist. After all, the key moment has to be used to talk about data. In fact, everyone who has been to the sun knows its surface temperature is 37,000 degrees. Want to let a nuclear bomb enter the South Pole to detonate? Any minor deviation will lead to failure. So the captain decisively changed the navigation to the No. 1 spaceship. The crew had to go outside for manual repair, and they can only take on this task. So they put on 100 tons of aircraft, take the repair equipment and set off. At this time, they had no idea this dangerous decision will be a dead end. It's the most expensive aircraft in the world. It's not only made of gold, it's also able to resist the space at a temperature of less than 3,000 degrees. It's not about showing off how rich you are. It's about doing a mission in front of a 30,000 degree sun. Just now, the first time a human spaceship flew to the closest place to the sun, I didn't expect the heat shield to show up in order to repair it. The navigator came to the outside for manual operation. With the professional skills of LAN, they quickly repaired the first heat shield. This made the crew excited, but they were immersed in joy. The oxygen tank was burned by the strong light. When the crew discovered it, it was already late. The AI urgently took over the control of the spaceship. And the first thing he had to do was protect the nuclear bomb on it, because once the nuclear bomb explodes, the mission to restart the sun will declare failure. The captain hated the sun, but the young man escaped the disaster. The captain's death made the old king very guilty. He wanted to end his life. The crew had no choice but to put him to sleep first. There is no oxygen supply now. Don't say it's the sun again, even if it works. There is no oxygen to return to Earth. They only want to rely on all of it on the first spaceship for rescue, since someone asked for help. There must be oxygen on it to make people survive. Soon they came to the location of the first spaceship. The only thing is that there is no damage to the inside and outside of the spaceship. The door opened slowly, but the strange thing is that there is not only one inside it. You can't even see the shadow. The crew, who were aware of the bad news, began to split up. Amy first discovered the ecological warehouse. Not only is the oxygen system here perfect, there is also plenty of drinking water. Through detection and discovery, the first spaceship is out of control. Everything else is normal.
A star is dying. Our dreams are foolish. We are just nothing more to challenge God.
Although the captain's words made the crew a little dizzy, but they still chose to continue their mission. But as they entered, a terrible scene appeared. The crew of the No. 1 spacecraft. It turned out to be all burnt to ashes. It looks like a suicide. Just when everyone was stunned, there was an explosion in the connection between the two ships. No one knows the reason for the explosion. They just tried their best to run back, but when they got to the connection, but I saw a desperate scene. Not only the two ends of the street can't be reconnected. What's more deadly, there is only one escape aircraft suit left. This makes the small handsome man who can control the nuclear warhead the only choice. But I found a new problem because of the damage to their computer. You have to leave a person to open the cabin by hand. That means he's going to die. Of course, Black didn't let the initiative stay. The three of them were sucked out in an instant. I'm going to go to the other end. The vice captain happened to hit the spacecraft. T at the moment of crisis. The little handsome man only threw the crew around him into the cabin. I looked at the vice captain and it turned into a fresh ice. This rescue mission is not only a waste of time. There are new problems. They suspect that the explosion at the connection point is what the old king did in order to save the whole human race. The four of them had to accept this cruel decision. However, when they found the old king with a chest of arms, that's when they found out that the other party had already committed suicide. Although the problem of oxygen has been solved, but what the public didn't expect was, another crisis is coming. Do you think you see the sun? In fact, this is a spaceship with a huge heat sink. It not only can withstand the temperature below 30,000 degrees, it also carries a planet-to-planet bomb made up of all the materials in the world. The ultimate goal is to restart the sun. The oxygen in the spacecraft is enough for 4 crew members to complete the task. However, artificial intelligence is updating oxygen data. The purpose is to end the second spacecraft. The little handsome man who knew the truth. I thought the sun was going to burn the captain to death. How do you expect the other party to be exposed to the strong light for 7 years? The body has already been mutilated. The hot light can't get up at all. The little handsome man had no choice but to hide in a secret cabin for the time being. The captain had no choice. He just saw him lock the cabin door. Then he destroyed the control motherboard in the cooling cabin. The first one to suffer was the big beauty. The captain stabbed his waist with a knife. On the other side in the control room to deal with the breakdown of the small wall found the little handsome man in the surveillance. That's when the other party heard the truth. He didn't have time to hurry to the cooling cabin. Once the motherboard is damaged, he jumped into the cooling night directly against his head at a temperature of 100 degrees below zero. He forced the motherboard to be fixed. As the motherboard reappears, the spacecraft's power system was also restarted. Who knows when he finished the last step of the operation? His legs were stuck in the water. He saw his own fate. He fought to the last breath. He used a welding gun to burn a small hole in the sealed warehouse, then firmly fix his body in a corner. The sealed warehouse with a small hole was successfully blown open. When the pressure is stabilized, the little handsome man quickly came to control. He set up the nuclear bomb separation program, with the countdown carrying the nuclear bomb that all humans hope for, and the spacecraft is about to be separated. To ensure that the nuclear bomb explodes smoothly, the little handsome man jumped into the nuclear bomb's launch engine without hesitation. And without the heat-shrinking spacecraft, how can it withstand the sun's light? It turned into a colorful fireworks in an instant. Now it's just a matter of starting the nuclear bomb, but the little handsome man never thought of it. The soulful captain came here first. The little handsome man was caught. He was about to become a nuclear prisoner. The nuclear bomb was finally successfully detonated. The long-frozen Earth once again ushered in the long-lost light. So the question is, do you think a nuclear bomb can really restart the sun?